When you're being isolated at work because a jealous coworker is targeting you, the best thing that you can do is to not react and don't show any vulnerability or emotions. And let me explain why. When a coworker perceives you to be a threat at work, they usually play games with you to try and one, inflict pain on you by making your work life a living hell, or two, to try and knock you down to the bottom of the food chain at work. Or three, they can take it as far as trying to get you fired. So the way the game works is like this. The jealous coworker is gonna set you up to get isolated. How do they do it? What they'll do is they're gonna influence your other coworkers to turn against you. And if you're wondering, well, how are they gonna influence others to turn against me? It's actually very easy. Most people are like sheep, you know? They don't know how to form their own opinions. All that needs to happen is for one person to say this about you, and then that person hears it, and then pretty soon collectively like they're all believing the same thing because they're like sheep. All the jealous coworker has to do in the office is make it a trend to turn against you, and everybody will hop on the trend. And the jealous person who is targeting you, more than likely you're not their first target. They've done this many times before, so you're not their first rodeo. So they know how it works. Now, you'll notice that you're getting isolated at work because you'll just sense the vibe with your coworkers, right? They start to try avoiding you. And then you'll notice that your work life is beginning to be stressful because they're micromanaging you now, right? They're watching everything you do. Every little mistake will be pointed out. And then you'll notice that you get blamed for things. Most times when we're in situations like that, we begin to fold, right? We start to show our frustration. We show our stress. We start to question things. We start defending ourselves, right? But that's the worst thing you can do because the jealous coworker is watching you. And seeing you get stressed, seeing you react, is giving them a thrill. So when you start to notice that they keep pointing out your mistakes, no matter how minor it is, right? Instead of getting defensive and, pointing out that it's not fair, which is true, but they don't care. What you're gonna do is step up to the plate, all right? This is gonna take effort on your side, but you are gonna make sure that every day when you come to work, that you are always gonna be in front of the problem to make sure that there's no problem, okay? You're gonna watch the things that you're doing, making sure you're doing things right. If you're thinking, oh, that's ridiculous, I'm not gonna do all that. No, this is part of the game. This is how you play it. Somebody is playing games to try and sabotage you. What you're gonna do is step up to the plate and you are not gonna fold. And then when you start to notice coworkers not including you, right? Maybe they didn't invite you to the meeting. Or if they did invite you, they invited you like last minute. Or if they're having little conversations and you're not included or they're avoiding you. What you're gonna do is you're gonna act like you don't notice, okay? You are gonna stay above it, all right? Next, if ever anybody's doing things or saying things to try and provoke you, right, to try and get you to act out of character, you are gonna gray rock them, okay? You will not engage. You will not fall for the trap. When you do this, when you don't give your energy, when you don't give any reaction, right, when you stay above the game, this is gonna make them confused. It's gonna make them bored. And eventually, whatever game that they were trying to set up, it's no longer gonna be fun for them because they're not getting out of you what they wanted, right? They're not getting the result that they were trying to get. You are not falling for the traps that they were setting for you. And if you keep up with that, this trend of trying to sabotage you will usually die out because you're making it boring. You're not giving them the thrill that they were wanting to get out of it. This is why in a lot of my content, I have a series going on. It's called How to Protect Yourself. And a lot of the steps that I have on there is about self-mastery and self-control, right? Working on yourself because when people are playing games with you, they are usually setting it up for you to play yourself. So self-mastery and self-control is key to playing the game and winning. And just in case anyone asks, to hold this jealous ass, toxic ass, ugly ass person accountable, what you're not going to do is confront them about it. Because if you come to them and say, hey, I noticed that this, why are you, they're just going to deny it. They're not going to admit it. They're not going to admit that. They're going to make you look crazy. Because a lot of the things that they were doing, they don't leave traces of evidence. So if you want to hold this person accountable, you're going to have to play a game with them, right? You're going to have to either set them up, or you're going to have to keep an eye on them and collect evidence. And when I say evidence, I'm not saying recording them, especially if you're at work. They don't allow that for some reason. So recording conversations or video recording doesn't work. Evidence has to be written, right? Or witnesses. Witnesses who are willing to speak up.